Have you ever pondered the captivating mystery of why certain individuals seem to effortlessly attract success, almost as if they possess an invisible magnetic force? The answer, it turns out, lies in their mastery of a potent psychological strategy, behaving as though they have already realized their most cherished ambitions. Meanwhile, others relentlessly toil, patiently await their turn, and constantly second-guess their every move, only to witness the life they deeply desire slowly receding from their grasp. What is the source of that profound burning sensation when you observe the ascent of others, while you remain seemingly trapped in place? Why does it so deeply undermine your confidence when you come to the disheartening realization that sheer hard work, in and of itself, is simply not enough to guarantee the fulfillment of your aspirations? The uncomfortable, yet undeniable, truth is this: success does not typically grace those who passively wait to feel adequately prepared. Instead, it gravitates toward those who boldly decide, in advance, that they already embody the qualities and attributes necessary for triumph. You see, the universe rarely bestows upon you what you believe you deserve. Instead, it tends to grant you what you wholeheartedly believe yourself worthy of, often long before there exists any tangible, irrefutable proof to validate that belief. Today, we are about to embark on a fascinating journey to unveil the often overlooked power of identity, that silent, yet profoundly influential, force that has been subtly shaping your reality, perhaps without you even being consciously aware of its effects. Therefore, if you are genuinely ready to cease the unconscious pursuit of failure and to begin embracing a life as though the success you crave is already an inherent part of who you are, then I urge you to remain fully engaged. The insights you are about to gain possess the potential to fundamentally alter the trajectory of your existence. But let's delve a bit deeper into the underlying question that often plagues us: why do we so frequently fall short of our own expectations? Why do we seem to cling so steadfastly to the perceived safety and comfort of the familiar, rather than daring to extend our reach towards the extraordinary dreams that reside within our hearts? This, too, is a crucial piece of the puzzle we will be exploring. It's a perplexing conundrum, a riddle that has captivated the minds of philosophers and psychologists for ages. But what if the key to unlocking success is far more straightforward than we imagine? What if it lies not in the tangible actions we undertake, but rather in the very persona we cultivate and embody each and every day? This concept isn't just another fleeting modern-day self-help fad. Its foundation is deeply rooted in the age-old wisdom of Stoic philosophy. This ancient school of thought eloquently teaches us that we possess the remarkable ability to shape our own reality through the sheer power of perception, through the lens through which we view the world and our place within it. Let us embark on an exploration of this truly intriguing idea, this captivating notion of positive pretending. It's a practice, a deliberate exercise in which you step into the metaphorical shoes of your future self. Imagine yourself as the successful, the confident, the accomplished version of you that you aspire to be. Picture this future you in vivid detail. The esteemed Carl Jung, a luminary in the field of psychology, once profoundly remarked, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." This insightful observation aligns seamlessly, almost magically, with our core concept. By consciously choosing to act as if you have already triumphantly achieved your goals, you begin to subtly, yet powerfully, elevate your subconscious expectations of yourself. You are essentially reprogramming your inner narrative, rewriting the script of your own potential. The great philosopher Aristotle, a towering figure in intellectual history, astutely taught that we are, in essence, what we repeatedly do. This profound statement implies that excellence, in all its multifaceted glory, is not merely an isolated act, but rather a deeply ingrained habit, a consistent pattern of behavior. When you consciously adopt the daily habits of your successful future self, you are not simply pretending in some superficial, shallow sense. Instead, you are actively training your psyche, conditioning it to internalize these success habits as your new, unwavering norm. You are creating a feedback loop, a virtuous cycle where your actions reinforce your beliefs, and your beliefs empower your actions. Thus, You are not just dreaming of success, you are actively building it, one conscious decision at a time. Therefore, embrace this transformative practice and unlock the boundless potential that resides within you. The human mind, in its remarkable adaptability, slowly ceases to perceive your actions as mere charades, instead beginning to acknowledge them as genuine manifestations of your authentic self. In essence, the persona you adopt through conscious effort gradually becomes integrated into your very being. Plato, the eminent philosopher, delved into the profound significance of sculpting one's destiny through unwavering self-discipline and a deep comprehension of one's inner workings. In the sphere of positive pretending, this translates to the fortitude required to steadfastly maintain consistency in your chosen new role. It is, therefore, crucially important to preserve your conviction in your transformed identity, even in the face of delayed external achievements. Nature's inherent wisdom encourages embracing life in its entirety, complete with its inherent trials and tribulations. This philosophy asserts that the journey to becoming our true selves invariably involves considerable struggle and a profound reinterpretation of our personal narratives. Through the prism of positive pretending, this struggle becomes an intensely internal process. It necessitates confronting and vanquishing our ingrained narratives of limitation and inadequacy, while simultaneously affirming, with unwavering conviction, I am capable, and I am deserving of success. Furthermore, when you fully embody this empowering mindset, you transcend the passive state of merely awaiting external validation, rather, you actively generate it from within. This transformative process extends far beyond simply altering your self-perception, it fundamentally reshapes the very fabric of your interactions with the world around you. Consequently, the way you approach situations and engage with others will be marked by a newfound confidence and authenticity, drawing positive outcomes and experiences into your life. This proactive stance, fueled by inner belief, serves as a powerful catalyst for creating the reality you desire. Your interactions, your professional endeavors, and your interpersonal relationships gradually begin to mirror this newly empowered sense of self. This alteration is, in essence, quite profound. For, as the esteemed Socrates himself might propose, the very cornerstone of wisdom rests upon the foundation of self-knowledge. And it is precisely through the deliberate and positive act of pretending that you truly begin to comprehend the more accomplished and capable iteration of yourself. It is a revelation. It is crucial to remember that this transformative journey of embodying your future, profoundly successful self is not about engaging in deception or artifice. Rather, it is fundamentally about transformation, about authentically evolving into the person you aspire to be. It is about carefully aligning your external actions, your outward expressions, with your internal potential, that inherent wellspring of capabilities. And, crucially, it is in the very act of doing so that you transmute that latent potential into tangible reality. Every deliberate step you consciously take as your future self serves to consolidate your unwavering belief in this burgeoning, novel identity. Thus, you are actively fortifying your path to sustained success with each and every purposeful act, every decisive decision, every meaningful interaction. Think of it as building a fortress, brick by brick. Indeed, the vast majority of individuals tend to spend their entire lives passively waiting for some elusive sign, some pivotal moment when they finally, irrevocably feel truly ready, undeniably confident, and utterly capable. But what if, perchance, that very sign you so anxiously await is simply not forthcoming? What if, in a stunning reversal of expectations, you yourself are, in fact, that sign? You see, genuine, lasting change does not typically occur when the external world finally deigns to validate you, to give you its official stamp of approval. Instead, it invariably transpires when you, with unwavering resolve, decide to boldly step into the future you so ardently desire, to claim it as your own. This happens right here, right now, long, often significantly long, before anyone else can even remotely perceive the dazzling potential that lies within you. This is your moment. Seize it. The Stoic philosophers possessed a profound understanding of the intrinsic link between thought and being. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic sage, articulated this beautifully when he penned, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." In essence, limiting your aspirations inevitably leads to a restricted existence. Conversely, when you consciously adopt the mindset, demeanor, and communication style of the individual you aspire to be, a remarkable transformation begins to occur within your very essence. Your soul, in a sense, undergoes a profound reshaping, aligning itself with your envisioned ideal. Imagine, for instance, that your ambition is to ascend to the pinnacle of your chosen profession, transcending mere competence to achieve genuine respect and influence. Consider meticulously how you would conduct yourself in various scenarios. How would you confidently enter a room, radiating self-assurance? How would you warmly greet your colleagues, fostering a sense of collaboration and camaraderie? And most importantly, how would you articulately express your ideas during meetings, commanding attention and respect? Would you allow yourself to succumb to the limitations of your former self, shrinking back into old patterns? Or would you instead project an aura of belonging at the highest echelons, embodying the qualities of a leader? You would, undoubtedly, act decisively, never hesitating in your actions. You wouldn't engage in endless self-doubt, questioning every decision. Instead, you would confidently occupy the space, exuding authority and poise. Your communication would be characterized by clarity and conviction, and your movements would reflect a sense of unwavering purpose. You wouldn't require external validation, such as someone bestowing upon you a physical crown. Instead, you would carry yourself with an invisible crown, an intrinsic sense of self-assuredness that emanates from within. This is precisely where the powerful technique of visualization becomes invaluable. However, it's crucial to distinguish it from the soft, unfocused daydreaming that we often indulge in. True visualization is a strategic mental rehearsal, a purposeful and deliberate process. As the renowned psychiatrist Carl Jung insightfully observed, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Therefore, visualization isn't about wielding magical powers or conjuring fantastical outcomes. Instead, it is fundamentally about cultivating clarity, gaining a deeper understanding of your aspirations, and solidifying your commitment to achieving them. It's about aligning your inner vision with your external actions, propelling you toward the realization of your full potential. The process involves consistently and repeatedly imprinting upon your subconscious mind the image of the person you are evolving into, until your very nervous system reacts as though this transformation is already an established reality. Reflect upon this. Prior to an athlete securing a gold medal, prior to an artist crafting a masterpiece, prior to a leader galvanizing millions, the genesis of these achievements lies within the realm of the mind. Plato, the revered philosopher, wisely instructed that the commencement is the most pivotal segment of any endeavor, and this initial phase invariably transpires internally. These individuals, these champions, do not passively await external validation to experience the sensations of triumph. Instead, they envision it, they emotionally embrace it, they fundamentally embody it internally, well in advance of the external world aligning with their inner reality. Now, let us be clear. This concept transcends mere pretense, as such superficiality degrades the profound process at hand. Nietzsche, the astute philosopher, once proclaimed, "Become who you are." Therefore, embodying the persona of your already successful self is not an act of deception, rather, it is an excavation, an unearthing of the inherent potential that has been obscured by years of self-doubt, detrimental habits, and unwarranted hesitation. It is akin to peeling away the layers of disruptive noise to unveil the fortitude that has always resided within. It entails fully and unapologetically inhabiting that idealized version of yourself, until the external reality is compelled to adapt and conform to your unwavering inner state. Thus, you are not creating a fiction, but rather revealing a truth. Each and every morning, as the sun rises to greet a new day, you are presented with a binary choice: to succumb once more to the comfortable embrace of the familiar, the status quo, or to resolutely walk, articulate, and contemplate as the future iteration of yourself. This future self, brimming with potential and possibility, awaits your conscious decision. Choose wisely, for the path you select will sculpt the reality you inhabit. Therefore, embrace the challenge, and become the architect of your own destiny. Envision the person you aspire to be, hone that mental picture until it possesses the palpable clarity of a cherished recollection. Instead of merely ambling into your office as if it were just another ordinary day, stride in with the purposeful gait of a leader, an innovator, the very individual to whom others instinctively turn when the stakes are at their highest. When you articulate your thoughts, let your voice resonate with the conviction of someone whose words carry undeniable weight, stemming from an unwavering belief in their inherent value. The venerable Socrates, the Athenian philosopher, profoundly believed that the veritable key to transformation resides not in the exhaustive battling of the antiquated, but rather in the focused channeling of all one's energies into the meticulous construction of the novel. This, in essence, forms the nucleus of visualization, the diligent construction of the new reality, not through self-flagellation for perceived shortcomings, but through the resolute embracing of the boundless potential that resides within you. And here lies the true potency of this approach. Your subconscious mind, that deep reservoir of cognitive power, lacks the capacity to distinguish between a reality that is vividly imagined and one that is empirically experienced. It responds with unyielding fidelity to emotion, unwavering belief, and persistent repetition. Consequently, when you consciously choose to dress with greater sartorial elegance, adopt a more upright and confident posture, and articulate your thoughts with heightened decisiveness, your brain, in its remarkable plasticity, begins to rewire itself to seamlessly align with these newly adopted behaviors. This transformation is not merely a performance, a superficial act, it is a profound rewiring, a fundamental reconditioning of your very identity at its core. It's about shaping your neural pathways to reflect the leader you are becoming, the innovator you aspire to be, the person others naturally seek out in moments of crisis. Therefore, embrace this power, visualize your success, and step boldly into the future you are actively creating. Thus, you are not just pretending, but becoming. In the journey to greatness, no grand authority will present you with a permission slip, neatly signed and validated. Furthermore, no precise moment will ever feel perfectly poised to initiate your ascent. Therefore, the singular authorization you require is the permission you grant yourself this very day. Embrace this self-granted pass with fervor and conviction. Visualization transcends mere fanciful dreaming, it constitutes the very architectural plan for the achievers, those bold souls who dared to envision themselves as something extraordinary before anyone else could perceive their potential. Embark on this journey without delay. Clearly envision it, articulate it with passion, embody it in your actions, and allow your life to gracefully align with the vibrant vision you hold within your mind. It is crucial to remember that the world will, with surprising frequency, reflect the image you project of yourself. Each day, often unconsciously, we cast spells upon ourselves, not through mystical wands or arcane incantations, but through the potent force of language. The self-narratives you repeatedly voice etch profound pathways into the intricate landscape of your mind. Should you repeatedly declare yourself as sluggish, plagued by misfortune, or intrinsically unworthy, your mind, unwavering in its loyalty, will accept these pronouncements as gospel. It dutifully executes your directives, devoid of skepticism. This is not merely motivational rhetoric, it is firmly rooted in the principles of hardwired psychology. The esteemed Carl Jung cautioned, "Words are animals, alive with a will of their own." Unregulated, your words insidiously train your subconscious mind, either to elevate you to unprecedented heights or to restrain you in debilitating chains. Thus, be mindful of the power you wield. What transpires when you consistently declare, "I am inept at this particular endeavor"? In response, your brain, ever compliant, acknowledges your proclamation, recalibrates its functions, and diligently ensures your continued inadequacy. This is simply because you have issued a direct command. However, consider a subtle alteration in your linguistic approach. Imagine instead proclaiming, "I must persevere through this challenge, or I am becoming stronger with each passing day." Suddenly, your mind, rather than recoiling in apprehension, eagerly leans forward in anticipation. These are seemingly insignificant alterations in language, minute ripples in the vast ocean of thought. Yet, over the inexorable march of time, they have the profound capacity to sculpt an entirely divergent future, a future brimming with possibilities previously obscured by self-doubt. The Stoic philosophers, masters of self-control and virtue, understood this power with an unparalleled intimacy. Epictetus, the renowned Stoic teacher, wisely imparted the timeless wisdom, "It is not the external circumstances themselves that disturb us, but rather our subjective judgments about them." Language, in this context, serves as the very instrument with which we mold and refine these judgments. It functions as the crucial filter, mediating between the raw, unfiltered experiences of life and the conscious choices we make in understanding and interpreting them. If you habitually depict every obstacle in your path as a catastrophic disaster, life inevitably feels overwhelming, a relentless barrage of insurmountable challenges. Conversely, if you choose to frame the very same obstacle as a valuable training ground, an opportunity for growth and self-improvement, it undergoes a remarkable metamorphosis, transforming into something empowering, a forge where resilience is tempered rather than a graveyard of shattered dreams. Plato, the venerable philosopher of ancient Greece, firmly believed that the very essence of the soul is profoundly moved by the words it hears. Consequently, if your internal dialogue is perpetually saturated with doubt, fear, and self-imposed limitations, your soul, deprived of nourishment, begins to shrink and wither, instinctively seeking refuge in the shadows, retreating from the vibrant tapestry of life. However, when you consciously flood your self-talk with affirmations of strength, unwavering patience, and a clear sense of purpose, the soul undergoes a dramatic resurgence, expanding in confidence and capacity. It stands taller, imbued with newfound courage, it fights harder, fueled by unwavering determination, and it reaches for more, embracing the boundless potential that lies within. Thus, the words we choose to wield become the architects of our inner landscape, shaping our destinies with each carefully articulated phrase. Words, you see, possess a power that extends far beyond mere description, they actively construct our reality. The venerable Aristotle, that towering figure of ancient philosophy, famously proclaimed that we are defined by our habitual actions. But we must also acknowledge that we are equally shaped by the narratives we repeatedly voice. Indeed, your very nervous system attunes itself, almost imperceptibly, to the stories you weave and tell. Consider this: utter the phrase, "I am overwhelmed," with sufficient frequency, and overwhelm, that suffocating sensation, imperceptibly solidifies into your default state, your habitual mode of being. Conversely, declare with unwavering conviction that you are evolving and growing, even amidst the swirling chaos and uncertainties of life, and growth, that upward trajectory, gradually becomes your default identity, the very essence of who you are. Friedrich Nietzsche, that iconoclastic philosopher, never one to shrink from facing uncomfortable truths, once astutely observed, all great things must first wear terrifying and monstrous masks in order to inscribe themselves on the hearts of humanity. This profound statement speaks to the inherent discomfort that often accompanies profound change. Therefore, new affirmations, new languages of strength and resilience, may initially feel unnatural, even palpably false. Proclaiming, "I am mastering this," when you still stumble and struggle, when the evidence to the contrary seems overwhelming, might strike you as disingenuous. However, that very dissonance is precisely the point. You are actively challenging the old, restrictive mask, the outdated narrative that no longer serves you. You are consciously choosing a new story, a narrative of empowerment, even before the tangible evidence materializes to support it. And that discomfort, that nagging feeling of unease, that, my friends, is the threshold of profound change. That's the razor-thin line separating who you've been, the person defined by past limitations, from who you are actively becoming, the individual embracing their full potential. Socrates, that relentless questioner, that gadfly of Athenian society, with his endless probing and incisive inquiries, would, without a doubt, pose this compelling question to you today: why do you consciously speak weakness into existence, thereby solidifying its hold on your life, when strength, that boundless reservoir of inner power, is readily within your grasp? It's a question, undoubtedly, that warrants deep contemplation, a question worth sitting with in quiet introspection, allowing its implications to resonate within the depths of your being. Consider it, and allow yourself to discover the inherent strength that lies within. Each utterance, whether spoken aloud or contemplated silently, represents a minuscule affirmation of the individual you are evolving into. Therefore, commencing from this very day, exercise unwavering discernment in your choice of words. Scrutinize them meticulously, refine their precision, and deliberately substitute disempowering phrases with those that foster growth. Instead of declaring, "I cannot," embrace the empowering assertion, "I am learning." Replace the discouraging sentiment, "This is too hard," with the invigorating belief, "This is building me." Exchange the disheartening confession, "I am failing," with the optimistic declaration, "I am getting closer." This transformation is not about deceiving oneself with falsehoods, rather, it is about consciously selecting the perspective that empowers you, liberating you from the confines of self-imposed limitations. Your vocabulary serves as the architectural blueprint that your mind meticulously follows. Therefore, craft it with the same meticulous care and precision that you would dedicate to the design of a robust bridge, meticulously engineered to carry your future self across a formidable canyon. Remember, potent words, coupled with unwavering determination, pave the way to lasting success. You are perpetually just one well-chosen sentence away from embarking on a radically different trajectory. Thus, articulate the words that propel you resolutely forward. It is undeniably tempting to attribute a perceived deficiency in progress to external factors such as unfavorable circumstances, inopportune timing, or even the elusive capriciousness of luck. However, one of the most influential and pervasive forces that silently yet relentlessly molds your existence is the environment that you consciously permit yourself to inhabit each and every day. The unvarnished truth, often difficult to confront, is this: if you find yourself constantly besieged by chaos, encumbered by clutter, overwhelmed by incessant noise, and bombarded by unremitting negativity, you are not merely engaged in a struggle against the external world, you are, in essence, actively fighting your own internal and external surroundings. Each time you endeavor to ascend to greater heights, the Stoics imparted the wisdom that while we lack mastery over external occurrences, we possess the power to govern our reaction to them. This includes, crucially, deliberately fashioning the spaces we elect to occupy. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, once penned the insightful words, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." However, your thoughts, more often than you may recognize, are themselves colored by your surroundings. Consider this: initially, you enter a space that is chaotic and oppressive. Consequently, your mind instinctively mirrors that very energy. Contrast this with walking into a space that exudes cleanliness, sharpness, and purpose. Suddenly, you find yourself standing taller, drawing deeper breaths, and thinking with greater lucidity. This is not some form of sorcery, it is, in essence, architecture meticulously designed for your mind. Therefore, take a truly candid and unbiased look around you, right at this very moment. Does your immediate environment emphatically proclaim that you are a future leader? Does it faithfully reflect the ambition that burns steadily within you? Or, conversely, does it subtly but persistently reinforce your doubts, your tendencies toward procrastination, and your inclination to downplay your potential? If your ultimate aim is to be a creator of value, a driving force of innovation, a builder of something enduring and significant, then your environment must serve as the initial and irrefutable testament to that very identity. It must be a tangible manifestation of the person you aspire to be, a constant reminder of your goals and your potential. In this manner, your surroundings will become a powerful ally in your journey toward self-improvement and the realization of your ambitions. Consequently, cultivate your environment with the same care and attention you would devote to nurturing your mind, for they are inextricably linked. Aristotle, the celebrated philosopher, profoundly believed that true excellence isn't a singular action but rather a deeply ingrained habit. Consequently, these habits flourish or wither depending entirely on the environment, the metaphorical soil, in which they are cultivated. It's not merely about indulging in extravagance, it's fundamentally about embracing intentionality in every facet of our lives. Organizing your workspace with the precision and thoughtfulness of a seasoned professional transcends mere aesthetics. Indeed, it's about harmonizing your external surroundings with your inner aspirations, creating a powerful synergy. Plato, with his timeless wisdom, once remarked, "The beginning is the most important part of the work." Therefore, meticulously setting up your environment to embody excellence represents that pivotal beginning, signaling to your subconscious, "This is my identity, this is my expectation, this is the future I am actively constructing." Carl Jung, the eminent psychiatrist, would remind us that people do not possess ideas, rather, ideas take hold of people. Your environment, in this context, acts as a living, breathing idea, a persistent and subtle voice that constantly reinforces your self-perception and the possibilities that lie before you. A disorganized and chaotic environment, therefore, keeps you tethered to antiquated notions of yourself. Conversely, an environment that is meticulously curated with care, characterized by cleanliness, intentionality, and a forward-thinking perspective, plants entirely new seeds of potential. Nietzsche, pushing this concept even further, vehemently insisted that each individual must actively strive to become who they are truly meant to be. However, this transformative becoming doesn't occur in isolation, it unfolds when every aspect of your existence, from the conversations you engage in to the very state of your desk, relentlessly propels you toward your idealized self. Thus, your environment becomes an active participant in your journey, constantly reminding you of your goals and inspiring you to reach new heights. It is a dynamic force, shaping your thoughts, influencing your actions, and ultimately guiding you towards the realization of your full potential. Socrates, the renowned philosopher, firmly believed that an unexamined life is essentially not worth living. Therefore, he urged profound introspection and critical analysis of one's existence. Similarly, we must meticulously examine our environment, as it serves as a potent reflection of our seriousness, our level of discipline, and the grand scope of our dreams. When we undertake the task of clearing clutter, we achieve more than just the creation of physical space. We, in fact, cultivate mental space, a sanctuary for sharper ideas to germinate, bolder decisions to take root, and a deeper, more unwavering focus to emerge. If the task seems daunting, start small. Perhaps begin by clearing off your desk completely. Then, introduce a single symbol, a poignant representation of the life you are actively building. This could be a cherished book, an inspiring quote adorning the wall, or a carefully selected tool intrinsic to your craft. Curate your surroundings with the same meticulous care that a Stoic would devote to curating his mind. Ruthlessly eliminate the unnecessary, and diligently sharpen the essentials. Remember this crucial truth: your environment possesses the power to either anchor you firmly to the past, hindering your progress, or, conversely, to catapult you dynamically toward the future you envision. Choose wisely and with intention. Because, whether you consciously perceive it or not, you are being molded and influenced every minute by the elements you permit to surround you. Therefore, deliberately construct a world that actively pushes you, consistently reminds you, and audaciously dares you to grow into the extraordinary person you are destined to become. Embrace this challenge with open arms and unwavering determination. There exists a perilous trap, a snare that we all, at times, inadvertently stumble into, the deceptive illusion that merely contemplating change is equivalent to actually making it happen. This is a fallacy that can paralyze us, preventing us from taking the necessary steps to transform our lives. we must recognize that genuine progress demands action, not just abstract thought. Consequently, we must translate our aspirations into tangible efforts to achieve lasting change. We eagerly consume books brimming with wisdom, we passionately discuss our aspirations, and we meticulously chart them in elegant journals. However, somewhere along the winding path that stretches between our well-intentioned plans and their actual execution, the initial momentum falters and fades. Consequently, the envisioned future we so desperately desire remains tantalizingly out of reach, permanently locked behind a door we never quite muster the courage to open. The Stoic philosophers, renowned for their pragmatic approach to life, offered a stark and unflinching perspective on this very issue. Marcus Aurelius, a brilliant emperor and philosopher, wisely proclaimed, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." In other words, cease the endless cycle of planning and strategizing, and instead, boldly embark on the journey of doing. You can vividly visualize success from dawn till dusk, immersing yourself in the imagined triumph. But, alas, without the vital ingredient of purposeful action, it remains merely another fantastical dream, slowly gathering dust and fading into obscurity within the forgotten recesses of your mind. Genuine and lasting transformation transpires when your behavior undergoes a fundamental shift, a tangible alteration in your daily habits. It's not about fleeting moods or wistful wishes, but about the concrete, lived experiences of your daily actions. For instance, if you harbor dreams of becoming a writer, it matters not how many motivational videos you diligently watch, or how many inspiring quotes you memorize. What truly counts, what truly propels you forward, is whether you commit to putting words on a page today, not in some distant tomorrow, not only when inspiration magically strikes, but today. The esteemed Carl Jung, a pioneering figure in the field of psychology, would astutely observe, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." The subconscious mind, the silent architect of our self-perception, does not construct self-esteem based on well-intentioned plans or empty promises. Instead, it meticulously builds it upon a foundation of irrefutable evidence, upon daily proof that you are, in fact, someone who consistently keeps their promises to themselves. Therefore, embrace action, and watch as your dreams begin to materialize before your very eyes. Each instance where you commit to decisive action, propelling yourself towards your envisioned future, is akin to carefully laying bricks to solidify the very foundation of your forthcoming existence. Conversely, every instance of procrastination, rationalization through excuses, or excessive rumination subtly undermines this construction, quietly dislodging those very bricks. The venerable Plato, a giant of philosophical thought, astutely recognized that the ethereal realm of pure thought, while undeniably beautiful, remains inherently incomplete without the vital component of action. Ideas, in and of themselves, are insufficient to propel the soul forward. It is in the arduous friction inherent in execution, in daring to step into the arena of action, that we truly refine and forge our identities. Therefore, the future does not simply gravitate towards those who dream with the greatest intensity. Instead, it welcomes those who act with resolute courage, even amidst uncertainty when the path ahead remains shrouded in mist. You do not require external validation, and you certainly do not need every single detail meticulously mapped out. What you need most is simply to initiate movement. Are you harboring aspirations of launching a business? If so, commence laying those metaphorical bricks immediately. Diligently research your target market, construct a preliminary plan, and reach out to an individual who has already successfully navigated that path. You do not require $1 million idea to embark on this journey. All that is required is the unwavering conviction that your previous existence is no longer sufficient to contain your burgeoning potential. Nietzsche, another titan of philosophy, frequently expounded upon the concept of the will to power, that profound and intrinsic force that compels us to transcend our limitations and expand beyond the confines of who we were yesterday. This force is the engine that drives us to constantly strive for self-improvement and to leave behind the person we once were. Thus, embracing this inner drive is paramount to achieving lasting personal growth and achieving your aspirations. Decisive action, you see, is the tangible manifestation of one's will, the outward expression of inner resolve. It's rarely neat and tidy, in fact, it's often quite messy. It's certainly uncomfortable. Decisive action demands a sacrifice. You must relinquish the perceived security of endless preparation and embrace, instead, the inherent uncertainty that comes with forward motion. However, without that crucial leap of faith, without that willingness to act, you remain nothing more than a ghost, a phantom, forever haunting the vast potential that resides within you. And let us not conflate bold action with reckless abandon. The great Aristotle, in his profound wisdom, astutely advised us that virtue resides in the delicate balance between excess and deficiency. Courage, therefore, is not recklessness, and decisiveness is not desperation. Every single step you take, regardless of its size or seeming imperfection, should be firmly anchored in your larger, overarching vision. This isn't about sprinting blindly into the unknown. This is about steady, intentional movement, about consciously aligning each and every action with the very person you are determined, deep down, to become. Socrates, in his timeless quest for truth, once posed the question, how much better is it to acquire wisdom than to accumulate gold? To gain profound insight rather than to amass mere silver? The answer, of course, is self-evident. But wisdom, however vast and profound, without corresponding action is akin to gold locked away in a chest that you never, ever open. You can possess all the right knowledge, you can faithfully believe in all the right philosophies, but if you remain stagnant, if you fail to step forward, even when it's messy, even when it's scary, and even when it's shrouded in uncertainty, then all that accumulated wisdom is, tragically, utterly wasted. Therefore, act. Therefore, the central question isn't merely whether your dreams are expansive enough. Instead, the pivotal inquiry lies in whether you are behaving with sufficient audacity. The life you aspire to craft is forged through the actions you undertake in moments of solitude, before the applause commences, when no eyes are upon you, and when the temptation to postpone for a single additional day looms large. Every courageous step you take in the present transmits a signal into the vast expanse of the future, meticulously sculpting the existence that awaits you, provided you possess the audacity to seize it. Thus, cease the endless anticipation of some elusive someday. Refrain from postponing action until you perceive yourself as adequately prepared. Instead, commence behaving as the individual who adamantly refuses to entrust their future to the whims of mere chance. Decisive action transcends the realm of mere strategy. It serves as a resounding declaration to the very fabric of the universe that you are utterly serious in your intentions. And the universe, as the Stoic philosophers would undoubtedly remind each of us, possesses a remarkable tendency to yield to those who confront it with unwavering resolve. Life, in its often unpredictable nature, occasionally plays a rather cruel trick on us. It allows us to experience fleeting moments of profound motivation, just sufficient to fuel our grandest dreams. However, this surge of inspiration often proves insufficient to instigate lasting, meaningful change. We find ourselves invigorated for a single day, perhaps stretching to a whole week, driven to act boldly and move with unwavering purpose. Yet, almost imperceptibly, we find ourselves sliding back into the familiar grooves of our old patterns, a disheartening return to the status quo. This is why consistent, relentless action, even in the face of setbacks, is so incredibly vital to realizing your full potential and creating the life you truly desire. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and requires a sustained commitment to bold action. It is essential to understand that our reluctance to change isn't rooted in laziness or inherent flaws. Instead, genuine transformation arises not from singular, dramatic events, but from the cumulative effect of small, persistent, almost mundane acts of consistency. The Stoic philosophers, insightful observers of human nature, grasped this profound truth. Seneca, the renowned Stoic, wisely stated, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." This level of self-mastery, a cornerstone of personal growth, is not achieved through fleeting moments of inspiration. Rather, it is cultivated through the unwavering practice of daily discipline. When you first embrace the persona of the individual you aspire to be, the initial sensation can be intensely invigorating. Your speech takes on a new timbre, you move with newfound confidence, and you find yourself daring to envision grander possibilities. However, if this new behavior is only adopted when it's convenient or emotionally stimulating, then no real metamorphosis occurs. Your nervous system, your ingrained habits, and your self-perception only undergo significant rewiring through sustained repetition. The eminent psychologist, Carl Jung, succinctly captured this notion when he asserted, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." Your subconscious mind, a powerful force shaping your actions, pays scant attention to your verbal commitments. It meticulously observes your established patterns of behavior. Consistency, therefore, serves as the essential adhesive, the binding agent that unites all other elements, the carefully crafted visualizations, the decisive actions taken, the intentionally elevated environment created, and the consciously upgraded language employed. It is the unwavering dedication to these seemingly small actions that ultimately paves the way for lasting and meaningful change. Thus, the path to self-improvement lies not in grand gestures but in the persistent application of consistent effort. Lacking consistency, experiences remain mere fleeting moments. Conversely, with steadfast consistency, these moments coalesce to forge our very identity. The venerable Aristotle profoundly taught that our essence is defined by our repetitive actions. Therefore, excellence transcends a singular act, it metamorphoses into an ingrained habit. Each dawn, upon awakening, the world silently poses a crucial inquiry: who will you embody today? Every action we undertake serves as our definitive answer. This is not a matter of grandiose gestures, rather, it's about the simple act of waking and introspectively questioning, what course of action would my future self undertake today? It then involves resolutely pursuing that course, even if it induces discomfort, particularly if it induces discomfort. Plato, the eminent philosopher, posited that the discipline of habit constituted one of the supreme forms of self-education. In his considered view, genuine power stemmed from aligning our daily conduct with elevated ideals, not sporadically, but unremittingly. Thus, when you diligently cultivate the muscle of consistency, you transcend the need for external motivation to initiate movement, you simply move. You cease the daily internal negotiation regarding whether you feel inclined to act, instead, you act in unwavering accordance with the identity you have meticulously chosen. Nietzsche, the profound thinker, once declared, "He who possesses a why to live can endure almost any how." Consequently, your why, the person you are progressively becoming, fuels the requisite discipline to appear daily, even amidst fatigue, discouragement, or doubt. Indeed, consistency is not synonymous with perfection, it's about stubbornly rejecting the temptation to abandon your aspirations for future self in favor of the ephemeral comfort of the present moment. In essence, it's about choosing the path of sustained growth over the allure of immediate gratification. It's about recognizing that small, consistent efforts compound over time to create remarkable transformations. In this way you become the best version of yourself. Imagine, if you will, a stonecutter diligently hammering away at a formidable rock. Perhaps for the initial 100 strikes, absolutely nothing seems to occur. There are no fissures, no visible signs of advancement. However, with the 101st blow, the rock dramatically splits asunder. It's essential to understand that it wasn't solely that single, decisive strike that achieved this feat, it was, in fact, the cumulative effect of all the preceding strikes, each patiently and persistently accumulating pressure against what initially appeared to be an insurmountable obstacle. The renowned philosopher Socrates, with his characteristic inquisitiveness, might have posed the probing question: are you truly willing to undertake the small, often unseen, work that greatness invariably demands? This profound question encapsulates the very essence of genuine consistency. It embodies the act of showing up and putting in the effort even when no one is observing, diligently practicing even when there is no immediate or tangible reward, and investing wholeheartedly in oneself even when the results remain invisible to the naked eye. Each seemingly insignificant choice, whether it's writing a single page, hitting the gym for a workout, meticulously organizing your workspace, or carefully selecting your words, accumulates, layer upon layer, much like layers of robust armor forming around your evolving identity. And over time, something truly incredible and transformative begins to unfold. It transcends mere effort, it becomes an intrinsic part of who you are. The world, in its inherent wisdom, ultimately rewards the persistent, not necessarily the perfect. Therefore, the future rightfully belongs to those individuals who consciously choose, day after day, to act in complete alignment with the life they genuinely desire, even when it would be far easier and more tempting to regress into the comforting embrace of old, familiar habits. Thus, embrace the power of consistency, for it is the key to unlocking your full potential and achieving lasting success. The journey may be arduous, but the rewards are immeasurable. Dependability might not possess an alluring charm, nor is it perpetually brimming with exhilaration. Nevertheless, it constitutes the very mechanism through which one transmutes latent possibilities into palpable realities. Consequently, each day, preceding your immersion into the cacophony that life invariably presents, allocate a solitary moment for introspective contemplation. Pose to yourself the poignant question, what course of action would my future self deem appropriate for today? Subsequently, venerate that response with unwavering commitment, irrespective of its seeming insignificance or the inherent challenges it may entail. For, should you emerge victorious in a sufficient number of these diminutive skirmishes, you will awaken one morn to the profound realization that you are no longer merely enacting a role, rather, you have metamorphosed into the very individual you were destined to become. Each incremental stride you undertake, each deliberate choice to conduct yourself in accordance with the aspirations of your future self, represents a silent yet profound revolution. This constitutes the unseen, often unacknowledged, labor that lays the groundwork for a life of unyielding resilience. Therefore, bear in mind that you are not merely awaiting transformation, you are, in essence, embodying it with each and every decision you consciously make. Maintain an unwavering tenacity, remaining perpetually intentional in your actions, and harbor an unwavering trust that the trajectory you are diligently forging, even when veiled from immediate perception, is guiding you precisely toward the destination you were perpetually intended to reach. It's the diligent, consistent effort that truly shapes destinies. We extend our heartfelt gratitude for your participation as a valued member of a sanctuary where profound wisdom converges with decisive action. Should you harbor a fervent desire to persist in the construction of that indomitable foundation, we have prepared another insightful video awaiting your perusal, conveniently accessible right here. We encourage you to continue your journey of self-improvement and embrace the wisdom of the Stoics. This journey, while often challenging, is immensely rewarding. Regrettably, this marks the conclusion of our present discourse. Therefore, I extend an invitation to reconnect in the subsequent interaction. I eagerly anticipate our paths crossing once more. Perhaps then, we can delve deeper into the fascinating subjects that captivate us. It has been a genuine pleasure engaging with you thus far. In anticipation of our future encounter, I bid you farewell for now.